Hello. I'm not in my normal surroundings. I'm in the very glamorous, look at this mess. I'm in the very glamorous travel lodge in Warsaw. Let me just put you down. Try and do this quietly. And without moving, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. I am recording this at a hotel because I'm shooting. I'm making a cup of tea because I keep coughing. Hay fever and asthma all at once. It's been really high. And this is quite often the case. It's often really, really high temperatures and, really hot, sticky days when we're doing autumnal shoots and shooting Halloween. Ordinarily, it would be Christmas. I'd normally be shooting Christmas and it would be the hottest day of the year. At the moment, I'm shooting Halloween and it's the hottest day of the year. So we'll see how we get on. But the hay fever is really high, so I'm making a hot cup of tea to try and ward that off so I can record. I'm going to attempt to do this in one go because I don't want to have to edit because I need to get to my shoot. It was so hot and sticky last night. I had plans to come home. I have got a podcast ready to go, but I really wanted to record this one today. So I'm coming in to record ad hoc. Now, behind my screen here, for people watching on YouTube, I have got my laptop. For people listening, don't worry, just keep listening. I have got a feature that I wrote about, really about becoming an interior stylist and getting on the first rung of the ladder. And the reason I did this is I get emails all the time, and this guy messaged me via LinkedIn. Now, I don't know about you. I don't know if it's an ADHD thing or a busy person thing, but I have so many places that people can message me, and I have to stop opening them up until I'm sitting at my desk and can reply. Otherwise, I just literally forget that they're there. And this lovely guy messaged me on LinkedIn and I didn't see it. And then he messaged me another time to say, just in case you didn't see the last message. And I thought, thank you. And he was asking about how to come and assist me on shoots and the normal emails that we get about helping out on shoots so they can become interior stylists. How can they learn the trade? They're very, very creative people, very passionate about interiors, really want to get into the industry. And I get this quite a lot. And I've answered quite a lot of the questions in podcasts and in blog posts. And what I tend to do is think, I should send a link through to that person and say, okay, this is how it works. This is what you need to do. And I thought, no, Emma, make it easy for people. Create a feature that is a start here. And that's what I've done. So behind my phone that I'm talking to right now with my little microphone on, I have got a feature that I've written where everything is that if you want to understand the ins and outs of interior styling and how to get started and how to contact people, everything is in there, and it's all on Inside Stylist, so you can go over to Inside Stylist and just find it there. But I'm just going to run through some of those things that I recommended to this guy to get started. So the first thing I have written, now this isn't just aimed at this guy, this is just things that I think people should know about and just collating all the information in one go. So the first thing I was saying was that you need to understand the role. You need to understand that styling looks like it's really good fun. I mean, I'm shooting, I'm away from home, there's no dog walks happening. We won't talk about what's been going on at home with the dog because he's pining for me. Poor Alan Taylor. I've left the kids to it, I've left the husband to it, I've just come away. Coming away is like a mini holiday because by the time I get to the hotel, I've already done all the hard work, I've done the propping. I get here, I just have to do the shoot. I have to pop to Tesco's across the road and get a few extra food props. It's like a holiday. The weeks leading up to today and being in a hotel, much harder work. But it looks like it's a very glamorous thing to do, and it really isn't. It is a very hard job. It is very, it's very creative. You do get to be really creative, but it isn't just fluffing cushions. There's a lot more to it than that. You need to know about how to frame a product within a shot or within a video to make sure it looks absolutely spot on. It needs to be beautiful. It needs to look absolutely brilliant. And you need to be telling a story. So yesterday I'm shooting Halloween, I was shooting a skull, and the client wanted to put some extra products in, and I was like, okay, he is thinking we need to showcase all the product. This product is fabulous and we're definitely going to sell loads of these. We need to get this in. And they're so excited by the products, they can't see past the shot. They want to put as much in as possible. And actually what we do as stylists is we edit the shot. We give the storytelling. Okay. And I always have the same, oops, she says knocking over her hairspray. I always have the same mantra, especially with this client I'm working with today and yesterday. I say, I'm thinking living, etc. I want living, etc. to feature this image. And if I put that product in, they won't. So we're going to leave that product out because we want it to be this level of kind of inspiration. And I think like that, but a product manager, a designer, a marketeer wouldn't necessarily think in those terms. They're thinking, let's sell this product, let's sell this product. So I have to tell a story with my images, and that is what an interior stylist is doing. It's not just making things look pretty, it's making things look good and lifestyle-y so they can sell. Now, if it's a shoot for a brand and they want to put all those product images into a brochure that they're going to send out to wholesalers who are going to buy the product to sell in their shops, then that's slightly different. You might want it to be a little bit more product-led rather than lifestyle-led. But again, I'm an interior stylist. I can switch between the two. Preferably not on the same shoot though, or if you want to do both kinds of shots, you need more time. So I'm just throwing that out there for any marketing people or any PRs who are listening. Right, I'm going to have a quick slurp of my tea, but also can I just say, if you hear this, I'm sitting on a very squeaky chair. It's not me, it's the chair. Right, let's have a slurp of this tea from a hotel room. It's very hot. Oh, that really helps calms the everything down, all the hay fever and everything. Now, what did I share here? I've done quite a few podcasts actually. So I interviewed, no, I'm not going to talk about that one actually. I'm going to say I did a whole podcast about how I got started in interiors. I also have all sorts of interior stylists who've been interviewed on the podcast. So if you head on to podcast and just put interior stylist, you'll probably get a ton of people cropping up that you can go listen to how they got started. Because sometimes you just need to hear the different views and the different ways people got started. Because quite often people started in fashion, whether they were doing some sort of textile design or they were working on fashion pages in a magazine, and there's so many people stand in for the homes editor and then become the homes editor and love it because homes is so friendly. So if you want to listen to how I got started, there is a podcast over on Inside Stylist. I will put all of this in the show notes, by the way. All the links are in there. But there's also a number of interior stylists I've interviewed over the years who you can go and listen to, and I always ask them how they got started. So that's a really good place to start. So how did they get started? So most people start with work experience. It's pretty much how it happens. We do work experience, full stop, that's it. Now, to get work experience, you need to approach interior stylists. And there is a process that I have gone over in a separate blog post and podcast. And it's all about how to approach people, what to say, what to ask. I'm always saying you should go follow people on social media, get to know them, make sure they know that you are a person who really wants to go and work with them specifically, not just I'm blanket emailing everyone. I really want to be on your shoot because I want to be on any shoot because I just don't care. I just want to get into styling and me. No, we don't do that. There is a really good way of approaching interior stylists. So I have done a feature called How to Approach Interior Stylists to get work experience. Let me just check what else I've got here. I've got so many different things lined up in here. Okay, so the next thing I think you should do is create a professional interior styling profile. Now, whether you are doing it just on TikTok or just on LinkedIn, wherever you're doing it, or just on Instagram, make sure you have a place where you're sharing your interiors, because people, if I go and look at someone's feed, they've messaged me and said, I want to come and do work experience with you. And I look at their feed and it's all their dog and their kids and their whatever. I'm not thinking they're taking interiors seriously. This isn't something they're really into. And that might sound a bit harsh, but if I've got 4 or 5 people approaching me and they all have Instagram accounts, but only 1 or 2 of them have interiors-led interiors accounts, or just sharing some of their style, I kind of think I'm going to go for the ones that have got a bit more, I can see their style coming through. I can see how they are going to be really good in the future. That is where I would go. Also, I always think people should start now. Even if you think you're not ready, start sharing images now, because in 6 months, a year, 3, 5, 10 years time, when you look back at those pictures, you're going to see how you started. And people who are looking back there can see how you've progressed, and look how you've improved, and look how much better your style is now, and look how you have been on this journey. Don't be scared to share the beginning stages of the journey. You have to compare your new with your new, your today with your yesterday. Don't compare your today with my 25 years down the road today. Very different places. So do put out content that is relevant to interiors. Yeah, I've put on this post here that there's quite a lot of people you can go and listen to. You can listen to Nico Williams, you can listen to Daniela Brown, There's Claire Parkin. There's lots of people who have done interiors who are on the podcast, who will share their journey from being assistants to becoming stylists. Daniela, I think I interviewed her when she was an assistant, but now she's a stylist. So I need to get back on. Met her for coffee recently. Got on like a house on fire. She gave me loads of ideas, actually. We sat and had coffee, and it was a really hot day. And I wrote so many notes, and all the questions she was asking, I was like, oh my goodness, I haven't thought of that. I need to do a podcast on that, or I need to do a blog post on that. I need to go back to that. Right, push that. Okay. The another post I've put is how to get your name out there as an interior stylist, because it's all good and well being an interior stylist and saying, here I am, come and hire me. It's how do you get your name out there so people can find you? This is a really good blog post to go, or podcast to go and listen to. Yeah, I'm just going to say that. I want this to be a reasonably short podcast because I do want to get an iced coffee to go in my cup to keep me going throughout the day, so I don't have to cough all through my shoe. Okay, I'm going to say it. It's pretty obvious, but join the community. So this isn't a sales plug. This is just this is how it's working. I've got a Facebook group for Inside Stylists, and obviously you've got the pages, you've got a profile page on Inside Stylists. It's the connecting with other people that really pushes you forward. And people are so lovely in our community. They're like, if I can't do a job, I'll share it, or if I need a PR, can someone help me? The moment you belong to a community, you feel supported, and it's very lonely being a freelancer. I went out for dinner with the photographer last night, and I was saying how I spend most of my time on my own. If I'm propping, I like to be on my own. I can't go sourcing with other people. I need to really concentrate on what I'm doing, and it's work at the end of the day, so there's no reason why I should be with someone else. But most of the time I'm at home on my computer. So when my husband comes home, I am like, blah, 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 and then this happened, and then that happened, blah, 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 and I waffle, really talk non-stop, because I've had no one to talk to. Now, I have a little community at my home. I've got my daughter and my son. I've got my daughter and my husband and my daughter at uni, and I speak to them all the time. But if I have someone I want to ask a question about interior styling, if I was a freelancer and I'd never worked on magazines and I only had a very small group of people I could talk to, because maybe I've never been in-house, I don't have people other than those that have hired me, and I can't really ask them the questions I need to ask them. They're the questions that get asked in the Inside Stylist Facebook group. Now, Facebook sounds really dated. Oh my God, who's on Facebook? Facebook is brilliant for communities. There is nothing like it. I can't find anywhere else to move that community to that is as strong as Facebook. And I've done polls on there. I've had other people. I mean, if you need to ask a question, you can ask a question. It's not like a page where I'm in control of it. You can put the questions out there. And that is gold, because that is where, and I've had, when people ask me things like, someone was asking the other day, I need to get some faux plants, or she said plants or faux plants, but preferably real ones. Where do I hire them? Have you got any ideas? And I thought, well, I know, because someone asked that in the Facebook group the other day. So I was like, you're not in the Facebook group. Go get in the Facebook group, girl. You're a member. You're allowed in there. And I said, but here's the names that people mentioned. And I shared like 3 or 4 companies that provide flowers and plants for shoots for a credit, or even for a small fee. And then she's kind of come into the group now, so she can find them all. So the community is really where it's at. And also it's really nice when you bump into people at the press shows and events. You can kind of catch up. It's really lovely. But your community isn't just the people, like your peers. There's also the PRs. There's also the brands. There's the marketing managers. There's the social media managers. There are so many people in your community that will kind of make your working life better. Not just help you get jobs, just enhance your world. So go join Inside Stylist if you aren't already, because we are lovely over there. We're so friendly. And the other thing, another non-plug, if you aren't very kind of confident in styling, you can learn interior styling. I have an online course. I've got some new things coming in September that will also be enhancing styling and learning to style. She says, taking another slurp. So you can be a complete newbie, or you could be an assistant who wants to kind of really enhance their skill. And the course, it's on every element of styling, really. There's workshops on there. There's so much information. There's thinking about how we put props together. I talk through my thinking when I'm arranging things, because I think it's a very intuitive thing. It's actually quite difficult to teach styling, because what I love, you might not. I love vintage. You might be really modern. You might be really minimalist, whereas I'm a serious collector. So the way I would arrange things would be more maximalist than you styling something super minimalist. Now, that's not to say I can't do minimalist. Of course I can. It's just not how I live. It's not how I live at home. And when I'm teaching, I'm very aware that I'm going to show you how to arrange these vintage vases, but you would probably do it very differently. But it's understanding the layering and the kind of the scale of props and how you put things together and how you position and where the spaces are, and understanding negative space and thinking about symmetry and all these things that I just do without, like, I can look now and go, this isn't right. And I know why it's not right. And that is what it's all about. That is why we understand styling. And that's why I teach in the course. So you can check that out on Inside Stylist as well. Okay, so I wanted to keep this really short. That's all I have to say. There are a lot of topics. Let's see if I can get up my little list. Right, so here's what I'm sharing in this feature. So, how to get work experience, how to get your name out there as an interior stylist. My first photo shoot. You can also find other stylists who have got their first photo shoots and just how they got started in interior styling. It's how to become a member, bits about the interior styling course. There's also a Christmas styling for brands. So if you're about to shoot Christmas, there's a Christmas styling for brands online course that I do as well that I never mention. I really should mention that a lot more. So this is kind of like a guide to getting into interior styling. So I hope that's helpful. I have literally shared this because of this guy messaging me twice because my reply rate on LinkedIn was not very good. So apologies to you. I did message him with all of these links and told him he inspired me to write a whole blog post and record a whole podcast. So thank you very much for that. You know who you are. Okay, keeping it short and sweet because I've got an hour to get this out. Go and get an iced coffee to keep me going and to keep me cool on the hottest day of the year as I go and shoot skeletons. Anyway, whatever you're doing, have a great day and I'll catch you on the next one.